A decade ago, the EB-5 Kingdom Con rocked the Northeast Kingdom in Vermont's largest ever fraud case. The federal EB-5 program gives green cards to foreign nationals in exchange for an investment that creates jobs.
This program led to a fraud scheme that landed 3 people behind bars. The Trump administration is considering eliminating the program entirely. Channel 3's Calvin Cutler wanted to see the status of EB-5 in Vermont.
Killington Resort, also known as the Beast of the East, has seen explosive growth in recent years, including at a new EB-5 foreign investor development project, where people can ski out their doors and be on a chairlift in seconds. You're looking at the future site of what will be 24 luxury townhomes, running about $3 million each. And that's just the beginning. Soon, 64 apartments, underground parking, and 4 standalone homes will also be built. Steve Malone walked us through what will happen here earlier this spring.
That's where all of our unit owners will just walk over to that trail to gain access.
Today, construction is well underway. The project, dubbed Base Camp at Bear Mountain, is financed by 40 foreign investors through the EB-5 visa program. Each investor putting forward at least $800,000, not only funding the construction, but creating as many as 400 jobs.
EB-5 is all about the jobs.
For the investors, it's all about legal immigration to America. Malone says many are families from China seeking better education and futures for their kids.
They just don't have the facilities and the school systems commensurate with the growth of that middle class.
Vermont developers have made the EB-5 model work dating back to the 90s, with projects scattered across the Green Mountains. From Jay Peak to Sugar Bush to Mount Snow.
My feeling is
state leaders like Governor Peter Shumlin and Governor Jim Douglas even traveled to Asia to help recruit investors.
I was going to do everything I possibly could to grow the economy of our state, especially in those parts of Vermont where the unemployment rate was particularly high, and consistently that was the Northeast Kingdom.
But EB-5 was not only promoted by the state, it was regulated by the state too. Federal authorities say that created a conflict of interest and lax oversight, which opened the door to fraud.
But the defendants engaged in deception and promises were broken.
A decade ago, federal prosecutors unearthed the Kingdom Con, a sprawling Ponzi-like scheme at Jay Peak, Burke, and Newport. $200 million misspent by the mastermind behind the scam. Who dropped the ball?
Well, the state did in this case. They did not follow it, and they're supposed to be monitoring every bit of it.
In court paperwork we obtained, numerous state leaders were named, including Governor Shumlin, Financial Regulation Commissioner Susan Donegan, then Deputy Mike Pichek, and others. No criminal charges were filed, and a state audit last year found no evidence of corruption. After the Kingdom Con and fraud in other states, Senator Patrick Leahy spearheaded bipartisan EB-5 reforms in 2022. The EB-5 Integrity and Reform Act puts more guardrails and accountability on where the money flows, who can run a project, and more oversight from officials.
We had some of the people that were sponsoring the new laws, like me, had been prosecutors, and they were trying to make as ironclad as they could.
Nationally, EB-5 is firing on all cylinders, especially in rural states. Investors from 60 countries ponying up around $65 billion in the last 15 years. In Vermont, we have at least 2 EB-5 projects underway, and we stand out because it's faster and cheaper to use EB-5 here than other states. State government is getting out of the EB-5 business. 2 regional centers are privately owned. But EB-5 still has its critics, who say the program does not live up to its promise.
What is the real return on our investment of offering these green cards?
Jessica Vaughn of the Center for Immigration Studies, a nonpartisan research institute, contends there's still not enough accounting of actual job creation through EB-5, and that the program amounts to buying citizenship.
How are American communities benefiting from this? Or are the people making money really just the middlemen? And the people who are managing these investments, as opposed to the communities where these projects are happening?
There's also been complaints from investors who can wait years for a green card and often see little return on their six-figure investments.
Well, the recent reboot of the EB-5 program comes as the Trump administration is taking a hardline approach on some immigration programs and is considering doing away with EB-5 altogether and replacing it with a gold card program. $5 million for a green card directed right into the U.S. Treasury.
Trump describes it as a type of green card aimed at large corporations to get top-notch employees.
This is usually people that would either be working for companies like Apple, I think, is going to buy a lot of them, because they can't get people into the country.
That idea is not moving forward in Congress right now. But back at Bear Mountain in Killington, Malone rejects the idea that EB-5 is just about purchasing a green card. He says unlike the Trump gold cards, every EB-5 investor takes on a risk.
The deal comes with some elements of risk that you're putting your money into a project that is managed correctly.
The Bear Mountain Base Camp project is expected to wrap up in 2028. Reporting in Killington, Calvin Cutler, Channel 3 News.
Calvin Cutler, thank you for that investigation. Next, he took his passion for patching and uses it to support those who served and their families.
Why this veteran is this week's super senior after this.